All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 8:03. Today's date is Wednesday, June the 18th, 2025, and this meeting of the Mayor and Town Council of Forest Heights, Maryland will come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember McDonald. Here. Councilmember Little.
Present.
Councilmember Brownson.
Here.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Here.
Councilmember Hines.
Present.
Council President Noble.
Here.
Mayor Lilly.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we will have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. I ask that everyone to please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. All right, next we have meeting minutes. Meeting minutes for June 2nd, 2025 and June 12th, 2025 were distributed in advance. Are there any additions or changes to the meeting minutes from June 2nd and June 12th? All right, hearing none, the meetings are accepted as presented. Meeting minutes are accepted as presented. Next, we will move to approval of the main agenda. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
I make a motion that we approve tonight's agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded that we approve tonight's agenda. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, hearing none, the ayes have it. Motion is adopted and agenda is approved. Next, we will have the Juneteenth proclamation. And it reads, whereas Juneteenth, observed on June 19th, commemorates the day in 1865 when enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas, finally learned of their freedom over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. And whereas this historic day stands as a powerful reminder of the enduring fight for freedom, justice, and equality in America. And whereas the town of Forest Heights, one of the oldest African-American incorporated municipalities in Prince George's County, was built on the same values of self-determination, community strength, and civic pride that Juneteenth represents. And whereas each mayor and council member of Forest Heights brings a unique vision and leadership that supports the ongoing mission of Juneteenth to reflect, educate, and work toward a more just and inclusive future. And whereas Juneteenth is now recognized as a federal holiday and serves as a moment to honor the contributions, culture, and resilience of African Americans throughout our nation's history. Now, therefore, I, Troy Barrington Lilly, Mayor, and the Town Council of the Town of Forest Heights, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth in the Town of Forest Heights and encourage all residents to honor this day through education, reflection, celebration of freedom, and unity. I move that we adopt the Juneteenth proclamation.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the Juneteenth proclamation. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, hearing none, the ayes have it, and that proclamation is adopted. Next, we have a proclamation for Independence Day. Our next regular meeting will not be until July 7th after Independence Day. This proclamation reads, Whereas on the fourth day of July in the year 1776, the Continental Congress did adopt the Declaration of Independence, thereby proclaiming the birth of a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the principles of equality, justice, and self-governance. Whereas the observance of Independence Day affords the citizens of this great nation an opportunity to honor the founding ideals upon which the United States of America was established, and to reflect with gratitude upon the sacrifices made by those who have defended and preserved our freedoms. Whereas the town of Forest Heights stands as a testament to the enduring strength of community, the value of civic engagement, and the shared responsibility of all citizens to uphold the rights and privileges secured by our nation's founders. Now, therefore, I, Troy Barrington Lilly, Mayor and Council of the Town of Forest Heights, Maryland, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim Thursday, July 4th, 2025, as a day of solemn remembrance and joyful celebration. On this occasion, we encourage our beloved residents of Forest Heights to commemorate our nation's independence with reverence for our shared history, gratitude for our enduring freedoms, and a renewed commitment to unity, service, and collective progress. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Forest Heights to be affixed this fourth day of July in the year of our Lord 2025, and in the 249th year of independence of the United States of America. I move that we adopt proclamation for Independence Day.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt the proclamation for Independence Day. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? All right, hearing none, the ayes have it, and the proclamation for Independence Day is adopted. And just one quick note, it looks like next year, 250th anniversary. So I believe the state has some celebrations planned to commemorate. And so 249th, we'll celebrate on the 4th. Hope everyone has a safe celebration. All right, next we will move to council member and mayor reports, and we will begin in Ward 1 with Councilmember McDonald.
Good evening, everyone. The only thing I have is that the Green Team met with the Maryland Municipal League point of contact, and we talked about a few things according to our action plan and some of the things that we could do perhaps to increase engagement in the town amongst the residents, and to connect them with the sustainability projects that we have already in the pipeline, and those things that we want to continue to move forward so that we stay engaged and stay abreast and aware of the requirements that we have to meet coming up, not in the near future, but in the far future, so that we could continue to maintain our status as a sustainable community in the in the state of Maryland. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember McDonald. Next, we will have Councilmember Little, also representing Ward 1.
Good evening. Today was the last day of school for a lot of Forest Heights students, for students that live in the town of Forest Heights. So I would just like to wish you all a happy, healthy, safe summer. That is all.
Thank you, Councilmember Little. Next, we will go to Ward 2, and we'll have Councilmember Brownson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I too attended the Green Team meeting. I'm not a Green Team member, but I attended just out of curiosity and for knowledge. And one of the things that I got out of it is that, as Council McDonald mentioned, is the engagement by the community. And some of the, one of the residents had a good idea that she presented that we don't, as a town, how resilient are we? Do we have an emergency plan? Which made me think about, do we have an emergency plan? So on the 12th, I attended this Sustainable Maryland information session about sustainability and stormwater and resilience. So, and I asked and one of the things I sent to Mr. Jackson, and he said he was going to send to everyone, is that we have an opportunity to apply for a grant for resilience here in the town as a municipality. And one of the things they talked about is, do we have a plan in case of an emergency here in the town of Forest Heights? Do we have a generator? Is it up to date? Can residents come here to the municipality in an emergency? And I didn't know the answers to those, but I did ask the question, and the administrator said that if the town of Forest Heights does have a generator, maybe you might could apply to get an updated one. And if they don't have one, then maybe they can use this grant, resilience grant, to buy one and put that in a proposal. Also, one of the things they mentioned is, in case of emergency, do we have a water supply for the residents? Do we have air conditioners? Is there some place they can come to get a flashlight? Do we have an emergency kit that we can give to the residents? I didn't know that, but I don't think we do. So he said that that's one of the things that we could use this grant to apply for, emergency kit for the residents in case of any emergency, update our generator, and some of those things. So I gave the grant application to Mr. Jackson. So I'm hoping that we as a town would apply for this grant and use those funds. The deadline is July 16th to get the grant in. And I also, I just noticed that on Seneca and Mohican, there's I don't know whether it's a stop sign monitor or what that gadget is there. But I just wanted to ask and I know, I figure the police liaison might know. And if so, it's good that we as council people are aware of these things. So when people ask, we'll know what they are. Then one other thing I wanted to ask about is the audit report. I know they said it was going to be finished in a week or so, and we were going to get a draft. So I haven't received the draft. I don't know whether anyone else has. Because the reason I ask is because I don't know whether the deadline to get the circuit rider is still open, because that would be, if we could apply for that circuit rider and we could get a circuit rider in the town, that would be someone to help us write our grants and be the administrator of the grants that we have in the town. And if it still exists, that's free through the state of Maryland, and they pay that person to do the work. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Ward 3 and we'll start with Councilmember Hines. Oh, my apologies. I was looking at Council President. Normally what happens is when we get to Ward 3, she wants to go last. We're going to go to Councilmember Kennedy, who's online from Ward 2. Councilmember Kennedy, are you there? Did we lose him? Okay, well, it seems that we have lost Councilmember Kennedy, so we'll go to Ward 3, Councilmember Hines.
Good evening. My report is, first of all, on July 20th, or is this on Saturday? This Saturday, Forest Heights Baptist Church, the community, I'm sorry, June. What did I say? I apologize. I don't know what, I'm thinking about the 4th of July. Okay, but yes, I apologize. June, is it 21st? Yes, June 21st. They're having a celebration, a community day. Please attend if you can. I believe the time is from 10 a.m. to 2. Okay, 11 to 2. Thank you. They're doing homemade ice cream. They're doing fish fry. They're doing all sorts of good things. So please attend. Also, tomorrow is Juneteenth. And I just want to say please be safe out there, celebrate in a safe way. And I want to say happy birthday coming up to our councilwoman, Teresa Brownson. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Hines. On the holiday. All right. Councilmember Kennedy, is he back? Not hearing him. So we'll go to Council President Noble from Ward 3.
Good evening, everyone. Eventful time in the town of Forest Heights. On earlier in June, I went to Forest Heights Elementary's graduation. They are reaching for the stars. So we had, it was a great group of kids, a program and everything. Then in the town, last Saturday before last, there were scholarships given to 21 students. And then this past Saturday, the Power Group, they gave they didn't give scholarships, but they gave each student, each young lady, a laptop and a sleeve to carry the laptop. So for 2 weeks in a row, my energy for hope and life was really good because these young ladies are going from veterinarian to close enough to a doctor that I can get some care. So it was really great to see all this positive energy. And Saturday before last, this room was full. I mean, I think they set up for like 80 chairs and they were all full. So that was a good time. I just want to remind people on this Saturday also is Gabrielle's Walk, and that's Delegate Jamila Woods' walk in honor of her son who died he was away and she couldn't get help for him because she was not in the state. So she called the state, but they wouldn't send anybody to go check on him. So a law was passed. And last year we walked. Well, I didn't walk, but I was there. But this year, another walk this year. So it's at the across from the MGM, 8:00 in the morning. We have our neighborhood watch again. That's going to be July 7th at 7 p.m. here in the town hall. July 18th is our first, not first, but we're going to start up the card game playing again. July 18th, that's on a Friday night. We'll have those people who are professional, and I call them the Barnes. They'll be here to get everything up and running. And also I wanted to just let people know if they applied or contacted District 8's office about lawn service, the elderly, that program will kick off on July 18th. So you should receive a letter and then I think you contact them, but everything will be in the letter, but July 18th. So we'll keep you informed if we hear of anything differently. And I think that's it for me. Thank you. Oh yes, well, the chief probably could say better, but it's just measuring, it's collecting data to find out not who, but the number of people running the stop signs. So we'll have an idea of how many violations so we can see how we will proceed with that. So it's there and it's in, I think, 2 or 3 other places. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Councilmember Kennedy, I see that you're back and wanted to give you a chance to do your report.
I do not have anything. Thank you.
Could you say that one more time? The audio came in just a little bit distorted for us. Did we lose him?
I don't have anything at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kennedy. Okay, I'll go into my report, which is, I think it's loading on the screen. There we go. All right, for June 18th. In our most recent meeting with National View, we discussed the public trail and use and maintenance agreement, which is forthcoming. This is an agreement to detail the easement and the space at Seneca Drive where there'll be a pedestrian entrance to the National View project. It's going to provide illustrations of the area, and then a draft agreement will be shared with the council. And this is something that will come up on the agenda at later meetings for us to discuss and to shape ahead of approving that agreement. Yes. Yeah, I'm using the National View name, just the name of the project. I know the actual entity's name may be a little different, but yeah, it's an agreement that is in draft form and we'll share this week and the exhibits that are related to it. This internet was a little laggy today. It's taken about 20 seconds from when I hit the button to change the slide. All right. Earlier this week, I attended a meeting for the Go Prince George's County Master Transportation Plan process, and they are meeting with stakeholders, local governments to explain the plan, and it's currently in draft form. After attending that meeting, I've reached out to them, and we will be setting up a staff meeting with our town administrator, police chief, to understand what the impacts of the current plan are on Forest Heights. And this plan aims to expand travel options and to improve the transit, biking, and pedestrian access networks around the county maintained roads and thoroughfares. If you want to get information on the plan, and this is for the public, for the council, we will share what the Prince George's County Planning Department has sent out. But if you're at home and you'd like to get information about the plan, you can go to https://pgplan.org/go. I was told that they're in the public engagement period of the review process. So they're not taking formal comment right now. That process will begin towards the end of this year and the beginning of 2026. That's when they'll take comments and suggestions that go on the record, which will then be used to draw any amendments or changes to the actual plan that gets passed. I also participated in a mayoral ride-along with the Forest Heights Police Department, specifically Chief Reese. We spent about 2 hours riding around the different areas of the town, and at the very end, we had a pretty uneventful ride-along, but there was a motor vehicle accident at the intersection of Livingston Road and Indian Head Highway right at the very end. Thankfully, no one was hurt. It was a minor incident, and everyone was able to leave with no injury, no emergency transport needed. But I was able to experience some of the insight of what our police operators and operations deal with day to day, and also key areas of concern. We visited residential areas, we visited commercial areas, and I hope to do this on a regular basis, at least twice a year, just to see if areas that we make adjustments to, if we're able to see some improvement, and just to generally track progress of our law enforcement activities around the town. America in Bloom is coming to Forest Heights. Earlier this year, I presented the initial introduction to America in Bloom. And so in July, we'll have expert landscapers do a walk throughout the town, and they're going to evaluate our commercial, residential, and public spaces, and they'll deliver to us a plan, an evaluation with measures that we can take to improve beautification around the town. And one of the other benefits of being part of this organization is that they partner with other vendors to offer discounts on purchasing trees, shrubs, flowers, and other items that are that the town decides they want to implement as part of beautification. This is a national program that has been used in the local area. I believe the town of Edmonston is a member of the program, but it's been used around the nation to help bring expert advice at a really, really modest cost for municipalities to improve not only the look and feel, but the safety and to help attract businesses and promote economic development. A couple of weeks ago, I participated in the I-495 Express Lane Toll Road Community Hearing, which was at Oxon Hill High School. Was able to speak on behalf of the town and local communities. And there were other activist groups that were there, including the South Lawn Civic Association and our state delegates, our county council member, and other folks who were there. Town council members were there. I saw Council Member Little and McDonald there as well. And the general consensus from at least folks who spoke on behalf of residents in this area and in Maryland was that they're against the project. There were some business owners from Virginia who were proponents, but I've been told that the meetings that were held in Virginia, the state delegation and local elected officials, including residents that testified, are against the project. There is a preferred alternative solution that VDOT or the Virginia Department of Transportation has put forward. There's an upcoming transportation planning board meeting that will happen at the beginning of September that's the meeting that you want to put on your calendar. That is the place that we will get a chance to influence this decision, to hopefully stop it, to hopefully prioritize bus transit access as opposed to a charged or a fee-based, congestion-based toll system on the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, which would affect everyone who lives in this town, in this area. And that proposal is what? Okay, and it sounds like MDOT has proposed 3 alternatives to explore as well. Just a photo recap of the events that Council President Noble mentioned. Southern Prince George's County Community Charities, which is the nonprofit arm of the Alpha Kappa Alpha alumni chapter in this area, held their scholarship awards ceremony here in the town of Forest Heights. And those are some of the 21 young folks from our area who received scholarships as they head on to college. A lot of folks going to Morgan State, a lot of folks going to University of Maryland College Park, and a lot of, what was the most popular, I feel like we kept hearing a recurring theme of what people were going to pursue in their career, and I can't remember now. Okay. It wasn't business administration, it was other specialized fields. Architecture, that's what it was. We had 3 people who were pursuing architectural planning and engineering. Really big goals, yeah. And high GPAs. We heard several GPAs, 4.39, 4.1, 4.2, 4.0079 was one I remembered in particular. So a lot of high achievement being highlighted and promoted. And we are looking to continue partnering with this organization to activate this room for community youth excellence. All right, this is just recap of the Power Program that's been mentioned already. So those are the young ladies who participated in the first cohort. And we're told that next year they're planning to expand to 25 young ladies. This year they only dealt with seniors from 4 area high schools. Next year they're going to expand in the age and the grade range. So the number of people who are able to benefit is going to grow exponentially. Are they going to include young men? That would be amazing. Okay. Well, maybe we'll get one of them to help us with the internet. Flintstone Elementary played Oxon Hill Elementary in a soccer game last week, and the Forest Heights school bus, or the Forest Heights Police Activities League bus, transported them over to Oxon Hill Elementary, which is ironically in a new portion of town where, if our annexation plan moves forward, will be within the town. Flintstone, they came up just a little short, so they didn't win. However, they were very passionate, and I know that although some of the students took it hard that day, they told me they're going to return even stronger for the beginning games of next year's season. One last recap slide, if it'll come on. All right, District 8 Community Resource Fair was at Forest Heights Elementary on Saturday. There were two events that happened at the same time on Saturday. The Power Brunch award ceremony with those 6 young ladies happened at the same time as the Community Resource Fair. So we did double duty and hit both. But the resource fair was very well attended, and it had a lot of great resources, including the Oxon Hill Library, which passed on information about all the programming they do. They have activities such as skating. They have tutoring, virtual tutoring that young people can use, and even adults, to get help with math and language arts and other subjects that's available, I think, as late as 10 or 11 p.m. at night. That's live tutoring, access to watching documentaries and job training. You can get your passport information filled out there. There's a lot of services that they offer, and they wanted to reach out to us and see if we can help them to spread the word, and then also partake in some of the services that they offer in the community. What was that, Council President? They have a caseworker every Monday. Okay. What kind of caseworker is it? Oh, okay. There's a social services caseworker who's at the Oxon Hill Library on every Monday, you said? Every Monday from 10 in the morning until afternoon. All right. Upcoming events. We've had some of these mentioned already. Forest Heights Baptist Church Community Day is Saturday. Forest Heights Day is the first Saturday in August from 1 to 7 p.m. So we're looking forward to seeing the community out at both of those, and hope you have a safe summer. Forest Heights Day is our biggest annual event, and we would love to see you out. There'll be signage out, physical signage out to remind you and to remind your neighbors, and I'll be spreading the word through block captains, and we'll be putting it out through newsletter and text alerts, the website, and other things. Lastly, our county council member and council chair, Edward Burrows III, will send out a notice that there's a free fresh food initiative. Over 1,000 fresh, I don't want to say meals, but bags or collections of fresh food will be distributed, but you must register. There was a mailer that was sent out, and it looks like the distributions will happen twice a month starting on June 28th. But you need to register. So if you had the mailer, you received it in your mailbox, go ahead and scan that code or visit the web address or call the number so you can get registered and take advantage of that program. All right, next we will have public period. Public period is a time when residents, business owners, or other members of the public can address the mayor and council. We ask that you state your name and your address, and you will have 2 minutes to provide comment. If we can answer a question that you have now, we will, and if not, we'll direct it to the appropriate official or department head to get a response back to you. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during this time? Okay. I don't hear anyone. I don't see any hands raised. So at this time, public period is now closed. Next, we will have legislation for action. And today we have annexation resolution 01-25. And this is annexation resolution number 01-2025 is a resolution regarding the annexation of certain tax exempt real property located generally south of the present corporate limits of the town of Forest Heights along or near Indian Head Highway, MD 210, including land owned by the state of Maryland, Prince George's County, the Prince George's County Board of Education, the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, the Oxon Hill Volunteer Fire Company, and 2 churches, including segments of certain public rights of way under the jurisdiction of the State Highway Administration, Prince George's County, and the Board of Education, being lands located near and including Lady Drive, near the communities of South Lawn, Murray Hill, and Brook Manor, including properties located generally north and west of the Henson Creek Stream Valley Park along Livingston Road, as further described below, containing approximately 112 acres of land, more or less, into the corporate territory of the town of Forest Heights, and providing for the terms and conditions of the annexation to the town of Forest Heights, amending the charter of the town of Forest Heights for the purposes of including the annexed property within the legal descriptions and plats depicting the corporate limits of the town, and generally all matters relating to said annexation. I move that we adopt annexation resolution number 01-2025.
I second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt annexation resolution number 01-2025. Discussion. Councilmember Brownson.
Yeah, I'm looking at the annexation resolution schedule. And in here, you got the enactment date on or after the hearing date. Then you have January 18th. Is that what we're doing now, enacting the resolution? Or are we having a hearing? And then underneath there, you have the effective date, 45 days after the enactment date. Then you have July 17. So I'm confused with the dates and what they mean.
Well, we are enacting tonight. That's the purpose of the resolution for action. I'm hearing some feedback. Sound system. Okay. Can we get an update on dates? Do we have any adjustments that we need to make related to dates in the resolution? Any target date that's changed or needs to be updated? And I'm going to go to Mr. O'Connor.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. So basically, since we put off approving it at the last meeting after the public hearing, some of the dates have shifted. It's purely ministerial. And at this point, for updating in the resolution, Mr. Best provides that. So there's a guideline to follow the state standards. So basically, we'll just update the resolution to show that it was passed today and that it becomes effective 45 days after being passed or enacted today. And that's basically it.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. Mr. Best, anything to add?
No, the annexation resolution schedule is not a substantive part of the annexation resolution. And you already had your legally prescribed and noticed hearing. But what you wanted to do at the last meeting is to continue so that you could get some more feedback and get some more notice to the public. But yeah, that date that Councilwoman Brownson points out, July 17th, is obviously wrong. It's typographical error. Whoever put that date in there, it should be 45 days from the enactment date. But that's fixed, and it's just not a big deal because this schedule it's dictated by state law. It doesn't really matter what you write in this non-substantive schedule. State law controls how the dates play out once you've had your hearing and once you approve it. So there's nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Best. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Just one moment. Councilmember Brownson.
I hear this.
Is your mic on?
Yes, it's
Okay.
on. I hear that you said it's not that important, but I mean, just for having things correctly, can we change the date to what it should be or could be?
What is, what's 45 days from today?
I'll look at my calendar if somebody else is.
Okay. So interesting.
Be August 2nd, 2025.
August 2nd and August 12th are the pertinent dates, Madam Clerk. It's funny how the dates of effective annexation, they always seem to fall on some ceremonial day in Forest Heights. That's funny.
Close to August 1st. That's my birthday.
All right. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember McDonald,
Yes.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Brownson,
Yes.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Hines,
Yes.
Council President Noble,
Yes.
Mayor Lily.
Yes.
The vote is unanimous. The motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, next we'll move into Resolution 2925. This is a resolution appointing Mr. Clay Jackson as Plan Administrator for the Mission Square 457 Retirement Savings Plan to ensure compliance and complete final administrative tasks to dissolve the 457 plan. I move that we adopt Resolution 29-25.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 29-25. Discussion. Council President?
I just had a question about the plan because I think it was some confusion. Well, for me, because I know, that, the clerk called me to opt out of something. So that's where I'm getting confused on this 457 plan. And I know you will become the administrator, but how does that affect all these other hurdles we may have to jump over? Oh, maybe that's a question for you or him. Oh, different plan. I'm sorry, different plan. Disregard. But keep that in mind so you'll be able to answer. Thank you. Okay, oh, yeah. Then why- Oh, we putting them on. Okay, fine. Fine.
If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember McDonald,
Yes.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Brownson,
Yes.
Councilmember Kennedy,
Yes.
Councilmember Hines, Council President Noble,
Yes.
Mayor Lily.
Yes.
The vote is unanimous. The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we have the first reading of ordinance number 04-25. This is an ordinance of the mayor and council of the town of Forest Heights, Maryland, to amend Article 21, legislative and appointed bodies, practices and procedures, Section 21.2, practices, procedures, and governance of the town ordinance code in order to add a new committee that may be activated without further legislation to be known as the Veterans Commission, and generally relating to the practices, procedures, and requirements for town appointed bodies and certain legislative practices and procedures of the mayor and council. We're not voting on this tonight, but this item is to establish a permanent Veterans Commission. If you may recall, some members of the council were on the council at the time. There was a Veterans Task Force that was formed in 2023, and it had a 2-year time period. So the members who were appointed at that time, as well as the task force itself, had a time period that lasted for 2 years, and that expired in March of 2025, earlier this year. So this ordinance has been drafted so that the Veterans Commission becomes a permanent committee or group in the town and establishes that members can be appointed to it, and it will be a continually performing group. It won't be one that, it won't be time limited as proposed in the ordinance. So that's what we were able to find after doing research from the last meeting that we had. Is there a discussion for ordinance number 04-25? Councilmember Brownson.
I didn't read the ordinance, but what do you mean by there won't be a time limit? If, the commission itself won't expire, but what the members' time will expire? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was speaking about the commission itself.
Okay. And another question is, will there be a budget attached to this new commission what is it? Committee?
There's not a budget currently outlined for it. I mean, if they hold events, it can fall under some other either grant funded or town funded categories, but there's not a separate budget assigned to it currently. Any other discussion on ordinance number 04-25? All right, hearing none, we'll bring this ordinance back for a second reading at our next meeting, which is going to be, I believe, July 7th, Monday, July 7th. Okay. Next, we have new business. And the first item under new business is about 3 years ago, the council passed a change. I believe this was by either to the code or we did a charter. Was it to the code or charter amendment? Charter amendment, which gives the council authority to exercise an August recess. But in order to do so, we have to pass a resolution. And so this is just to open up discussions to council and see if you'd like to recess in August this year. And if so, we'll bring a resolution back at the next meeting to satisfy that desire if it exists. Now, don't all go at once. Council Member Hines.
Yes, I say let's do it. We were talking about it 3 years ago, 5 years ago. It's something that I feel, we could benefit from having a break, a recess. So I'm for it.
Thank you, Councilmember Hines. Council President Noble.
I think with that in mind, we still need to understand that there's still business of the town. So we could put in a resolution for a recess, but the reality is we may not be able to recess because we don't know what, we don't know what business we may have to meet to conduct. So that's just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Yeah, in the case of any exigent business that comes up, we'll schedule an emergency meeting to take care of it, or we'll just have a meeting on one of the regularly scheduled dates if needed. One of the reasons maybe to potentially consider doing it is because Forsyth Day will be August the 2nd, and then we'll have a meeting. If we didn't, well, actually, we could not do that one, but we need to formally decide that we're not going to, but there'll be Forsyth Days 2 days before one of the meetings that we normally have. The one later in August is the one we need still to open and close just because it's charter mandated. Is that correct, Mr. Best? The third Wednesday meeting?
Yeah, and that's why you have this charter amendment, because in the past you've wanted to cancel the 8 p.m. third Wednesday meeting. You couldn't do that. The charter is supreme, is the constitution of the town. So even if you have something exigent throughout August, you can still do that with a special meeting called, and you can do it whatever time you want to. You don't have to wait till 8 p.m. on Wednesday. So a lot of flexibility.
So with the resolution, if it's what the council desires, we don't have to have the meeting at all.
You don't have to have the meeting at all.
Okay.
But if you do need one, you could have one earlier in the night instead of 8 p.m. or any other day during the month.
Okay. All right. So is there any other consensus? I think we've heard one person in the affirmative. Anyone else wants to weigh in on recessing in August or not?
I'm for it, but
Councilmember Brownson?
I'm for the recess. It'll give the staff a break as well.
Councilmember Little?
I was just saying I'm for it as well.
Okay.
You know, the summertime, a lot of people vacation, staff need breaks, students out of school. Excuse me.
Okay. Councilmember McDonald?
Well, I'm for it, but I do, want to say if there is any business that we need
Could
to
you pull that
address.
mic just to
If there's any, I'm for it, but if there's any business that we do need to address, maybe it'd be, handled in July, or if we don't have to handle it or deal with it, it could move to September.
Yes, there's some items that we may be wanting to add to July so that they don't have to wait until September. If it's not emergent, we'll definitely push it until September, unless it's something that is going to affect the residents of town or our operations. So yeah, that's one thing we discussed. So now that we're bringing the resolution back, we will make sure that July is a very productive month as far as meetings and bringing any legislation that we anticipate may be needed before August. All right. Well, with that, Mr. Best and Mr. Jackson, it looks like we have a consensus. And Councilmember Kennedy, I don't know if you were trying to speak to weigh in or not.
That's fine. I know in the past, we did it for the one, whatever the month was that we had, Forest Heights Day and also a National Night Out, because it was a lot of work on the employees.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, with that, we have a unanimous decision to move forward with the recess in August. So please bring us a resolution for next meeting so we can entertain that and adjust the upcoming newsletters and anything else we need to do just to inform people that there won't be a meeting in August, first Monday or third Wednesday. I have a question. Chief Reese, is National Night Out happening this year?
Yes, sir.
And what's the
Second
date
Tuesday.
going to be for that?
Say it again, sir.
What's the date going to be?
It's the second Tuesday of the month. Give me 1 second. Yes, you're correct. So it'd be the 5th, and it's going to be from 5 to 7. The 5th of August.
Okay, so I'll make sure we add that to our upcoming, we'll advertise that in the meetings upcoming as well. Okay. And do you know where that location will be?
Same location at 5410.
Okay,
Anyhow.
very good. There was a question that came earlier. Mr. Frankenfield, if you're online, could you just give us an update about the FY23 audit and FY24 audit?
Yes, sir. So the auditor has provided us with a second draft of the 23 audit. I gave him some small grammatical changes today. I assume we're probably a week away from wrapping up 23. To finalize, there's a report that we have to submit to the state called the Uniform Financial Report. I've been in contact with the auditor. He's promising it. So I think we're about a week away from wrapping up 23. 24, we had a meeting with the current auditors last week. They're promising a draft the end of next week for 24's audit. So we hope to finalize 23 in the next week to 2 weeks, and then quickly follow and finalize 24's audit. So I assume by the end of July, we'll have both audits submitted and finalized.
And as soon as the UFR is submitted for the 23 audit, then it'll be sent to council and then posted online and shared with the public as well. All right, any other items of new business? Councilmember Hines.
Can we, the defibrillators that's in our building, can we get some type of I don't know, to use them, the training, you know, is that something that we can kind of make possible? I understand that I don't know how to use it, and I'd like to. So is it possible? Can we maybe? Thank you. Yeah, but they still.
Mike, please.
I did. I had it on.
No, I'm hearing other people talking. It wasn't sure if they were trying to talk to everyone or this was a sidebar conversation. Can I add that if we do that, can we do another CPR class too for anyone who would like to be CPR certified? That way we can do both items.
Is there the potential for us to maybe combine like a health day where we cover a couple of these things or one or two of them and then bring in this? I know we missed our shredding and dumping. Oh, they didn't do it. Okay, yeah, Lee Detroit Baptist Church was supposed to have one on May 31st, but it was a torrential rain pour down that day, so it didn't happen. But maybe we should look into a fall date or some date before the year is out for doing one or two safety activities, CPR or some other training, and then the shredding and dumping so that residents have a chance to do that. I'm not going to say August. It's going to be another time after. Maybe we can come back to the next meeting with some potential dates that maybe that works in the schedule. Does that sound agreeable? Councilmember Little?
I just wanted to suggest a stop the bleed training. I did one and it was pretty cool. And bleeds are very fatal at times.
Councilmember Brownson?
I think the Red Cross offer free training for all these things, so we won't have to pay for it, but we just have to schedule it. They don't?
They don't.
They used to, so I don't know.
They used to.
It's organizations that do offer these for free though.
Yeah.
We just have to look and see.
Yeah.
And this is a community effort, not just this body in training, it's the community.
Yeah. Another item came out of discussion earlier tonight, is we have an emergency preparedness plan, but I've talked with the chief, it's outdated and we need to revise it. We also have like a small subcommittee which can gather for this purpose. And so I don't know how soon it's feasible to be done. I'm thinking later in the year, maybe during the colder months, we can convene a committee in the community around emergency planning and some of the steps we can take to update our plan, and then some of the items or information that we can disseminate to residents so they can be prepared and then also know when they can use the building and how to respond and react and what the town's posture is in different emergency scenarios. Chief, if you could look at your calendar for the rest of the year and see if there's some time we can carve out some dates, maybe for some public engagement around that, or if it just begins as a smaller working group and then the plan is brought out for some engagement as well.
But can we look at that grant that's available through PEPCO and maybe get some funds? And I know that deadline is July 16th.
Well, what's council think? I think we would be in favor of pursuing that. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have the grant is in the hands of our town administrator and other staff, so we can look at what's required and just ensure we have the resources to respond by the date. I believe we do. And I think it sounds like council supports moving forward with that. All right. Mr. Best, we still We have a closed session on the agenda tonight. We still want to move into that?
Yes, if we could,
Okay,
please. Kind of the same drill as the last one.
okay. All right, I move that we go into closed session under the general provisions of Article subsection 3-305. And this is to discuss reason 7 and 8. Well, actually, I'm going to add 7. Yeah, we're going to do 7 and 8. And this is to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. And number 8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. The topic we expect to discuss under item number 7 is legal advice relating to a specific item of pending litigation. And it's being closed to discuss the specific case of litigation. And then for reason 8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation for the same purpose, to discuss specific pending litigation. And we're closing it to discuss a specific case of litigation. Is there a second to go into closed session? Well, first I need a second. It's been moved and seconded that we go into closed session for the above stated reasons. Discussion.
On my agenda, I do not have closed session on there.
Madam Clerk?
Yes, the closed session was added after you received your initial agenda, but I provided a new one that should have it on there.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Can Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Councilmember McDonald,
Yes.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Brownson,
No.
Councilmember Kennedy,
If we must.
Councilman.
Can you-
Councilman,
Can you affirm yay or nay, Councilmember Kennedy?
If we have to, that's a yes. If we don't have to, there's a no. Because this is sort of sad, but
I need you to say to vote yes or no or abstain.
I abstain.
Councilmember Hines,
Yes.
Council President Noble,
Yes.
Mayor Lilly,
Yes.
5 yeses, 1 no, 1 abstention. The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this time, the council will go into closed session. Members of the public are welcome to wait online until we exit the closed session. At that time, we will give a report of who attended, what actions were taken, and what was discussed. This meeting is now closed.